Welcome to the Cool Story Bry Podcast. My name is Bryan McConnell, and today I'm actually here with two of my best friends. I met Luke in college 7 years ago. Go ahead and give a hello, Luke.
Hello, I'm Luke. I'm just kidding. That's my normal voice. I'm Luke.
I love the accent. And I'm also here with my buddy Colten, who I also met in college.
Yes, sir. Hey, guys.
So I wanted to, I've been looking forward to this podcast for a long time because we are three of the best friends that anyone could ever have. That might be a song lyric. I'm not sure. Last weekend I went on a bachelor party trip, and I'm pretty lucky because out of the two bachelor party trips that I've ever been on, both of them were pretty unique and special in my opinion. It wasn't just the typical let's get really wasted and go to a strip club sort of thing, or go to Vegas or whatever it may be. Last weekend, one of my buddies who's getting married threw a bachelor party where we actually hiked a 14er. There was 10 guys. We all hiked a 14er. Well, two of them didn't make it up because they got lost, but we found them, so everything's okay. But yeah, so I just think I'm really lucky to only have been on two bachelor parties, but those two bachelor parties happen to be really fun and unique. And the other bachelor party that I'm referring to is yours, Luke.
Yeah. And no strippers are below.
Yeah.
Neither of them, I hope.
Or he might just be saying that because his girlfriend's sitting on the couch over there, but
wife now.
Oh yeah,
dude, I still
ex-girlfriend,
have a hard time
current wife.
Colin still refers to her as my girlfriend too.
I'm in denial.
I think part of that is denial. Yeah.
Well, you guys dated for a really long time, and you guys just got married in May, which was like just a few months ago.
Yeah, 6.5 years, and then we got married.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna be referring to her as your girlfriend for the next few years.
Fair enough. Yeah.
So for your bachelor party, right? Yeah. For your bachelor party, we all rented an RV, and by we all, there was 6 of us, right?
Seven of us at one point. Yeah.
We met the 7th one in California,
right.
But we rented an RV and we drove. You guys drove to Vegas. I took a flight to Vegas,
right,
and met you guys there. And I sent my luggage with you guys, so my flight was only like $50,
right?
And then from Vegas we went to California. But prior to the trip, I wanted to bring some weed. And so I put some weed in my luggage, and you guys ended up taking out, which is fine. I completely understand why you guys took it out. I wouldn't want to drive through Utah with that stuff in there either.
It was a really tough decision. We actually debated quite a lot on that when we did a lot of back and forth. One of the main things was Colorado license plates.
Yeah.
An RV with 7 guys in it with Colorado license plates. It's pretty obvious, what might be in the said RV. So.
Strolling down I-70 with smokestacks just billowing out of the top.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So that was probably the biggest thing. Is other states, a lot of our bordering states, Nebraska being one of them, actually really hates the fact that Colorado's legalized marijuana. So we decided, maybe we shouldn't be crossing borders, especially states like Utah.
Yes.
Utah being like the prime state for not wanting to have weed and being caught with weed. and
the funny thing about this story is when we got to California, we ended up getting weed and bringing it back through Utah.
right, exactly. Yeah.
And using it in Utah.
Yeah. Not only bringing it through Utah, but partaking in Utah.
Oh man, that was a good time, and that California stuff is really strong.
Oh god.
Yeah, we got really lucky that we managed to find someone that had an abundance of medical grade California weed.
Yes. Yeah, that medical stuff, it knocks you out. It puts you on your ass.
Oh, absolutely.
I didn't have any pain.
Yep. That's for sure. Yeah.
Even my past pain, all the past pain that I've experienced is now gone. I've never experienced that before.
Yep,
I have to start over as a human being now. But so yeah, we're in Utah, and on the way back this time. Or should we go in chronological order?
Yeah, I feel like we should go a little bit further back.
Yeah, let's rewind. Let's rewind again. So we'll go back. So we're trying to find weed in California, which is a lot scarier than it sounds. Everyone still has this phobia of trying to find marijuana, trying to get marijuana. And it's because it's a Schedule I drug. It's understandable. They still put people in cages for just having it on their person. But it's really sad that it's the complete opposite in Colorado, and I'm sure other states like Washington.
Right.
Because here, like a couple of those guys on this bachelor party, the 14er one that we hiked last week, a couple of those guys were really scared to just go into a dispensary with me. And I was like, you guys just need to come in and experience it. It's really welcoming. Everyone's really friendly. It's not the first time I went into a dispensary, there was bars on the window.
Yeah.
And there was a security guard at front with a black shirt, really ripped biceps. It was very intimidating. And it's not like that anymore.
Right. Yeah.
And even then, once you got inside, it was still completely relaxed.
Right.
So,
yeah, surprisingly welcoming nowadays. It seems like they try and go out of their way to get like some. There was one I went to the other day, and they had like an old antique truck up front, like nice wood panels, and there's like a nice display everywhere. It's like completely different than what you'd think a dispensary would look like. You'd think like shady people, and it's not that anymore.
yeah,
Definitely not.
Yeah. So where should we start in California? Because this bachelor party that we're talking about with the three of us that we all partook in, there was a lot of stories with this one. Where should we start with this one? Should we start with how we actually acquired the weed?
Yeah, we could do that. I guess. I mean, yeah, if you want to focus on the weed side of it, I'd say, yeah, that's how I'd say we should go approach that.
We don't need to. I just thought it was funny how scared we were.
Right, yeah.
It was pretty scary.
Yeah. And so I don't remember if we asked anyone before the
I don't think
girl
we did.
that actually ended up hooking us up. And that was just luck. I mean, we really lucked out on that.
Yeah.
I think alcohol and a big tip played a
big, big amount of liquid confidence.
I was pretty wasted.
Yeah.
So okay, I want to start with this one. Taylor. Oh man, I shouldn't have said his name. Poor Taylor. Do you think he's gonna care?
Nah,
He won't.
Poor Taylor. He got kicked out of a bar, and I felt really bad. And he's a big beefy dude, and I wanted to make him feel better, and so. While you guys were still in the bar trying to gather everyone it's so hard to get 6 guys out of a bar
yeah.
when you're on a bachelor party in
crazy.
California,
especially when you got people dancing on tables and stuff.
Yeah.
Guilty.
So I'm outside with Taylor, and I wanted to make him feel better, and he's really wasted. I'm tipsy, and so to make him feel better, I was like, all right, dude, take off your shoes. We were on the beach because this bar was right next to the beach. I was like, take off your shoes. He took off his shoes. I took off my shoes. I took off my socks. I was like, put your wallet and stuff in the shoes. And then he put all of his personal belongings in his shoes. And then I grabbed his shoes and ran away with all of it. No, I'm just kidding. So we empty our pockets and everything. And then I'm like, okay, take me down. And we just start jiu-jitsuing on the beach.
Nice.
And so I've got sand everywhere in my jeans. And then you guys call this girl, or you guys are communicating with this girl to make it so that we can do the exchange. I've always wanted to say that. So that we can do the exchange. And then they pull up and I get in their back seat.
Right. Yeah.
And it's really shady. There's already cops at the bar for whatever reason.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, yeah, just drive around the block. And like they drive around the block. I give them the cash, they give me the weed, and then I'm like, don't let me out here. just drive up ahead. I think my buddies are up ahead. To be honest, I was pretending to be scared because I really just didn't want to walk. I had just done jiu-jitsu on the beach. So,
well, the whole time this is going on, we're all sitting in this parking lot praying that they bring Bryan back.
We were legitimately worried.
Like, sexually traffic me.
Right, yeah, exactly. You'd be quite the catch.
Yeah, Luke and I were legitimately scared that we were going to lose you.
So the car pulls up next to you guys. I'm like, thank God I've got the product and I can get out now. And the exchange went fine. I still kind of feel bad for that girl. I don't know if what we did was the nicest thing to put her in that position because she was pretty young and It's not like what she did was exactly legal in California, but it was really cool. You meet cool people all over the place. Anyway, so I get out of the car, and the only thing I can think of is, oh no, the back of her car is probably covered in sand. Because I had sand everywhere.
Yeah.
And I remember when we got in that Uber on the way home, the poor guy that really took care of his Uber vehicle was like, he like looked at me, I looked at my seat once I got out, and I could just see the look on his face, like, what the fuck happened back here? And so then we have the weed.
Well, so just a little bit more on that is that when Bryan got out of the car, he came up to me and was like, "All right, dude, I got stuff," and I put it in my hand. I pull it out, and it is a ridiculous amount of weed, like way more than we thought that we would ever want. It was a half an ounce, was it? I'd never bought weed before.
It was either an eighth or a half. It had to have been a half.
Yeah, it was a half.
Yeah, none of us had ever bought weed before. And so, we had no idea when she's like, "Oh, we've got a half ounce." What,
I meant quarter or a half. But it had to have been a half.
Yeah, it was something absurd. But they, and it was, we were all just like, "What the hell are we gonna do with this? How are we gonna? There's no way we're gonna smoke all this. We want to just like." One tiny little nug or something like that.
Yeah. We're lightweights.
Yeah.
Even though we live in Colorado, we don't really smoke too much. We're more of the we more partake in the edible form of the marijuana. So when she first came up to us and asked us how much we wanted, I was kind of drunk at that time.
Right.
I had said 3 ounces. Which is all of the weed. That's all of the weed. So okay, so yeah, this is an ungodly amount of weed, and we have no way of smoking it at all.
Right. So enter YouTube. We were just trying to figure out any way that we could.
Back at the RV. We're doing our drunken research on how to make a pipe out of a can.
Right.
Which I'm sure for some people is really easy, but
we failed.
We failed pretty hardcore. And prior to that, or during the whole R&D phase of how do you make a bong out of a can or a pipe out of a can, I'm like, guys, I got to throw up. And you're like, just do it, man. Just do it. So I go to the bathroom, I start throwing up, and Luke comes in and starts rubbing my back. So Luke's rubbing my back as I'm throwing up into this RV toilet, which is really small. And then he's like, oh my God, oh, I gotta get out. So he gets out, and then, but to be because he wanted to keep being the true friend that he is, he came back and started rubbing my back again. And then I had farted. And I turn around as I'm puking. I'm like, I'm sorry, I farted. I feel like these are things that you should not be sharing with the world, but that's what I want to do. I want to share these stories with everyone.
I'm surprised I didn't lose it at that point. Normally, like, farts on their own and puking on their own is like two things that will typically push me over the edge. Mm-hmm. And those two combined, I'm surprised I managed to keep together, along with alcohol consumption and everything too. So that was one of my stronger moments, I think.
Yeah, that's how you know you have a true friend, is when there's a buddy there to rub your back or hold your hair back while you're just relieving all of the sins that you partook in that night
of the past 4 hours.
Yeah. Did we actually smoke any weed that night, or did we just smoke tin?
Yeah, or we tried it even off the spatula. Like, we put a nugget on the spatula. I tried to smoke it off the stove, and that didn't work either.
Granted, in our defense, we're really drunk. Yeah, we're all really drunk.
Really drunk.
Yeah, we like cut a can open, poked holes in it. We were trying to do like a little gravity type of thing, gravity bong sort of deal. And then we got a little metal spatula, put a little nug on one of the little slots, and just we're trying to light it from the bottom. Well, I feel like we were trying to smoke it like crack or something, like what we've seen in the movies. We had no idea.
It's like we were just trying to hotbox the RV.
Yeah, we were clueless,
which was really stupid. Yeah, so we're just lighting the nugs and just taking whiffs of the smoke that's coming.
We're
I'm sure would work. I mean, it makes sense,
right? Yeah, I would start smoking. We'd basically like bring it up to our mouth, like. Put it back down. We're retards.
That was a good time. So then I think we just gave up and passed out at that point.
Yeah.
But we still had half an ounce of weed.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I think we wasted like one or two little like nuggets or something, just trying to get something, but nothing. We just threw it away.
And the whole RV stunk of it the next day.
Yeah.
And then we finally got the bright idea, why don't we put it in the freezer? We have a refrigerator in this car. Why don't we put it in the freezer? So we finally put it in the freezer, and I think that relieved the stench a little bit.
Yeah, it was like a Ziploc bag put inside of a plastic King Soopers bag, doubled over on itself, like tripled over on itself, and then inside of like our tater tots or something like that.
We're so paranoid.
Yeah.
Our kids aren't going to have to deal with this, hopefully. Hopefully by then, all 50 or at least 49 states are legal.
Right, yeah.
But, so then, what happened next? We went...
we went to, I guess that we just
all over the place. We didn't really get back to the weed until on the way back. Really,
Yeah,
right?
it wasn't until like our last night in the RV together.
We bought some papers and we tried rolling some blunts for the first time, which
Yeah,
came out pretty nice.
Yeah, we bought those papers in Vegas. We stopped in Vegas for a little while because one of our other buddies wanted to go to a restaurant he used to go to all the time when he was younger.
It wasn't even a restaurant, dude. It was a fast food joint.
Yeah.
It was a fast food joint. He wanted to have a nostalgia trip from when he was a kid.
Right, yeah. Yeah, it was like this little Asian fast food joint. So, we went there, and there was a little head shop right next to it. So, one of our other buddies went in there and grabbed, he got like eight things of rolling paper. I think I've still got 7 of them.
We've rolled one blunt. Yeah. No, we actually did roll 2 that night. I just find it so funny that we can't make a pipe out of a can, but we did pretty well at rolling blunts for our first time. They fucking worked.
Yeah, I think that was all down to your expertise. I think like you managed to just absorb everything from those YouTube videos and put it to good practice. Or was that Colten?
No, it wasn't.
No,
okay.
I rolled one of them. I think Jason might have rolled the other one.
Okay, yeah. And the way we like crushed it too, we like put a can inside. Like, didn't you get like a spoon?
Yeah.
A little aluminum spoon, like crushing it inside of a can. Like.
But yeah, I think one thing that helped with the rolling of the blunt is the amount of saliva that I produce. I feel bad for our listeners because I'm constantly smacking my lips, but yeah, I produce a lot of saliva, so it was a nice slobbery wet one at first, and when it dried out, it was rock hard.
Oh yeah.
And yes, it worked. What was weird about this weed is it had a little bit of a delayed effect. Like I didn't get high while I was smoking it. It wasn't until we got up, I stood up from the bench. We were in Utah at this point. We were driving back. We were in Utah. We walk to a bench. We light up, get super stoned, and then we're on our way back. One of our other buddies already went back prior, and he's kind of a jokester as well. And I didn't have my contacts in because I don't like to smoke when my contacts are in. So when the 3 of us are walking back, a man passes us, and I'm freaking out. I just assume everyone is either an FBI agent or a cop. And on the way back, I freak out when I see this guy, and I'm just like, just keep it cool. Just keep it cool. Just relax and keep it cool. I'm with my 2 best friends. We're fine. Just keep it cool. Just keep it cool. He keeps getting closer and closer and closer. And he says, what's going on, guys? I'm like, oh, hey, how's it going?
Oh, that's funny.
Totally cool.
Yeah. It's funny because the guy is obviously just got out of the shower or something. I think he had like a little like baggie with him and a towel or something, and like.
See, that's what you saw.
Yeah.
I didn't have my contacts in.
I know.
So I saw a blurry monster.
Right.
A blurry, like I said, fucking federal agent with handcuffs ready to book me. And the phobia of Utah definitely didn't help. But so we get back to the RV, and Jason's doing something fishy. God damn it, I said another person's name. I need to stop name dropping. He won't care though. So Jason's doing something fishy right next to the door, and we all just start laughing. And I immediately jump to the conclusion and blame him as the guy that walked past us, thinking that he was trying to scare us. The reason why he went back, like, I don't know. You should explain the next part, Luke. Do you remember the next part?
Oh, that like he just didn't deny being the guy that.
No, he didn't deny it. I can neither confirm nor deny that I was the guy that scared the shit out of Bryan.
Yeah.
No, the part where we're all talking and I go, that was you, wasn't it? That was you back there. And you're like, and you go, dude, that wasn't him. He would have had to have ran around the whole park to try to scare us. And then you're like, and he has asthma.
Makes sense.
Yeah, the poor guy. And I don't know about you guys, but I spent the rest of the night freaking out that people were going to be looking in the windows and they would have saw his asthma inhaler on the counter and thought it was a bong or thought it was a pipe and just busted down the doors, and we would have all been screwed. Like, that's going through my head this whole time. And
well, when we were rolling all those, or all the joints, all 2 of them, we had all the towels like hanging over any windows and stuff. We had all of the blinds closed. We had, I mean, we were super like safe and trying to make sure that no one could even peek inside. And so, I don't know. It's just funny that.
Oh my God, the whole thing was freaking ridiculous. And we're in a trailer park. How many of those trailers were actually were owned by Utah residents? I doubt very.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And we were still so paranoid. There, like any lights that would shine nearby, any engines that started up, any
those generators that scared us every single time. We would be laughing and having a great time, and a generator would kick on, and everybody like, what was that?
Oh my God, it's ridiculous looking back at it now. Hindsight's 2020. It's really sad. It's really, really sad that we're that paranoid, because it shouldn't be like this. The war on drugs should end, I feel. We're finally starting to have a good time. We're all baked, and then you guys talk about what happens next. I'm gonna take a nap. I'm so tired already from talking about how paranoid we were. But no, you guys continue on with the next one, because I think that involves you guys the most.
Oh
anyway.
man.
Yeah. So Colten was pretty quiet, and so I was kind of like, I don't think that Colten's having a good time. You know, I feel like he could be more into it. He'd just kind of stand there and kind of stare off into space, and then just kind of giggle at like funny things that would happen. I was like, all right, we got to get you more involved, man. And so that was the point. I was like, all right, guys, I'm gonna put on a show. I'm gonna do shadow puppets for you guys. And so I had everyone sit down. Bryan got on like the top bunk in the over the driver's seat. And I lay on the floor, and I get my phone out, and I put it on my chest, and I shine it straight up at the ceiling, and I start doing all these cool shadow puppets.
The flashlight was shining.
The flashlight. Yeah, sorry. I turned the flashlight on, shined it in the ceiling, and I had this awesome canvas of the ceiling of the RV, and I was able to do just amazing shadow puppets with my hands. Like everyone,
some super magical fingers. Like, I don't know how I even saw it, but one time he was like, all right guys, what's this? And I was like, dude, that's a cat doing yoga. And he's like, oh my God, look, I'm making it stretch. And I lost it at that. And then he decided to put on this epic tale of Colten. And I don't know if it was just because I was that high or what, but it was the funniest thing I think I ever heard. I was convulsing because I was laughing so hard. I couldn't breathe. And it was one of the best shadow puppet shows I think I've ever seen.
And granted, if anyone were watching this sober, it would not have been anywhere near what we experienced. We were on a completely other planet. That's what's so great about weed. I'm sure a lot of our listeners are familiar with that. But what I loved most about the shadow puppets is there was a moment where I was sitting on the top bunk, like you said, above the cabin of the RV. And I'm just like sitting there with my hands on my chin, looking out at the ceiling of the RV with this amazing story that you're telling. And I actually genuinely felt like a kid again.
Yeah.
It was one of the most relaxing times of my life. I feel like one of the best moments of nostalgia.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and you actually looked like a kid too.
Yeah,
with your little like hands under your
super
chin.
cute.
You just
Yeah.
like big old smile on your face. Yeah, I mean, Colten. I probably almost killed Colten like 3 times
close.
because he was laughing so hard. He had to look away several different times.
Oh yeah, I would look away and compose myself for a little bit, and then I would turn back because I didn't want to miss any of the show, and I would turn back and I would just start laughing so hard again.
That takes some guts, man, being able to force yourself to watch this amazing epic comedy when you're already dying of laughter.
It was too good. I couldn't resist.
I think it helps that I was an animation student for a while, because I was kind of using animation techniques from like where where you keep your character right in the middle of the frame, but you make the land move.
Yeah.
So you just kind of like walk like this, and it worked out really well because I was wearing a hoodie, and so I had like ruffles on my sleeves, and so like as like Colten was my character, and like as he would walk towards those hills, I made him start like prancing and stuff, it was awesome. I didn't know where I was going with the story, and the story just kind of told itself, and I started doing like all this cool like Matrix 3D thing. Like he was climbing the mountain. Once he got to the top of the mountain, I like did this whole like flip transformation, so it was like all perspective, and Colten was at the top of the mountain and fell like down into the camera, and it went all dark, and everyone was quiet. Like, what happened to Colten? Like,
it's kind of funny because anyone listening to this obviously thinks that, oh, this is ridiculous. This is just a couple of high guys talking about some shadow puppets that they did. But it genuinely was a really fun experience for us. And this is going to be one of those things that we're going to listen to in the future. And at least the three of us are going to be pretty excited to relive that moment. But it just proves like if we could just get our audience more high, they'd like our work. They'd
yeah, exactly. Right. I think it's something to be said for kind of like not feeling like you have to be an adult all the time. Just because we're over the age of 18, we're technically considered adults. We don't have to always be adults. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't have to always have that adult mentality, and you can actually let go and be a child and have fun, and and you kind of miss out on some of the best parts of life if you don't let go of that. So I think that's one thing that kind of like opened my eyes, is that I was able to captivate a room of 28-year-olds by doing shadow puppets, and it was a cool experience.
Oh, it was wonderful. So yeah, I guess we're about to wrap up here. We've got probably about 3 minutes left. So yeah, that's the perfect end note. I wish we could just stop the podcast right there. But yeah, that's what I feel like everyone should do that. Go get high.
Yep. I give it a shot. It's not for everyone, but.
So yeah, thank you guys for being on this podcast. You guys are my best friends, and there's many more to come. If you didn't enjoy this one, I promise you, not all of our stories have to do with weed. We honestly don't smoke very often. But yeah.
I feel like if we did smoke more often, it wouldn't be as cool. Like we wouldn't have as much of the that kind of mind-altering aspect of it. So I think it helped that we were noobs.
Yeah, I completely agree. Do you guys have anything else that you'd like to add? Any advice that you'd like to give any listeners? Don't be afraid to drive through Utah with a little bit of weed.
Yeah.
No, definitely be afraid.
Yeah, definitely
you should
be
definitely
afraid.
be afraid.
Yeah.
Don't do that. They're going to be one of the last states to legalize it, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, I guarantee it.
You don't have to have hookers and blow on a bachelor party to have fun. That's one big one.
That is for sure.
It really comes down to the quality of your friends.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. When you do it, make sure that you do it with people that you would have fun doing that with. If you do it alone, you get paranoid and you don't like it. So it's like, that your environment totally dictates the experience you're going to have. Mm-hmm. And other than that, thanks for having me on the podcast. I had a blast. Hope to do more.
Yeah,
man, it went by really quick.
Like I said, I'd like to do a lot of these. So we're still going. I just got to take off the headphones real quick. But yeah, I genuinely appreciate everything you guys have ever done for me. And
likewise.
Yeah, there will be many more of these to come. So
awesome.
If you want to support the podcast, go to email me. Yeah, just do that. If you want to support the podcast, send me an email. I'm kind of old school. I haven't quite set up my Facebook and stuff yet. I'm getting to it. It's just going to take a while. I have a Facebook. I'm trying to figure everything out because I just got back on social media. I was off of it for a couple of years. So yeah, please feel free to send me an email, bitch and gripe. I'd love to hear all of your guys' feedback. So yeah. Anyway, enjoy. I hope that you guys had a good time listening to the Cool Story Bry podcast. Listen to the next episode and send me an email.
Cheers.
Dude, they're gonna think I'm so cheesy. Like, send me an email. Who sends email anymore?
I know, it's like you might as well just put a stamp on it.
Yeah.